What is up, Bears fans? Welcome to the Bears Huddle podcast, your UK take on all things Chicago Bears. Guys, please obviously like, comment, share, and subscribe on the channel. Right, look, it is still free agency. It is slowing down a little bit. Obviously, the Bears running out of money. We're not going to talk about Max Crosby. I've got, you know my feelings on that one. It would be a disaster. Don't want him. Don't need him, etc. Right, let's talk about the left tackle situation. We're going to talk about that. But let's start off by having a little sort of summary of where we're up to in terms of additions and subtractions to this Bears roster. So as it stands on the 12th of March, this is how it looks. The additions, centre Garrett Bradbury, the veteran from New England. Depth piece, defensive tackle Neville Gallimore, starting safety I think definitely there Kobe Bryant, linebacker, another starting linebacker I think there in Devin Bush to play alongside TJ Edwards, Khalif Raymond, wide receiver depth and special teams, defensive back Cam Lewis, very interesting player Cam Lewis, a player who's very flexible, can play safety, can play cornerback, can play slot, can play a number of different positions, but at the moment would actually be listed as the starting safety alongside Kobe Bryant, with the lack of Bears safeties. Certainly think the draft will be somewhere where we address that one. Defensive tackle, again, depth piece, Kentavious Street from the Falcons. And we're going to talk about this guy this morning, the offensive tackle, left tackle, Jedrick Wills Jr. Is he the future at left tackle in terms of this season on a one-year deal? Probably a vet minimum deal as well. Some certainly interesting names there. Obviously, the ones that jump out, Kobe Bryant, Devin Bush jump out straight away. The other ones are a little underwhelming, shall we say. Although Jedrick Wills was a first-round pick back in 2020. The subtractions, the takeaways from this team. I mean, look, some great names there, some top players. Obviously, Drew Darman, nothing we could do about that one. Guy decided to retire, fair play to him. DJ Moore traded away. You know, we understand that. I suppose, cap space, etc. Tremaine Edmonds cut. Not a surprise. The one there that really kind of stings a little bit is that safety, Kevin Byard. Byard decided to stand with the Patriots, deciding that, his relationship with Mike Vrabel was stronger than his pull to the Bears. He's gone to be with Vrabel again. They thought when he was with him in Tennessee. Look, I've got to say I'm gutted. 1 year, $9 million. I mean, gutted. I mean, honestly, if it's as cheap as that, that's a deal that the Bears should have been looking at. Vet leadership. Great player, led the league in interceptions last year. A big miss for me, that one is going to be a huge miss. Although Jaquan Brisker is still sat there, is that something the Bears may look at? Cornerback Nashawn Wright has gone to the Jets. Very cheap deal, that one. I looked at it the other day, was actually surprised at how small that was. I have to say, not as disappointed with that one. Yes, he came up with some big plays, but he still got burnt an awful lot last season. Omid Zacchaeus, Dominique Robinson, and Durham Smythe, who has gone to join up with former Bears OC Declan Doyle in Baltimore. So that's where we're up to at this moment in time with the additions and subtractions, guys. I'd love to know. You drop me a comment. What do you think of those additions and subtractions? Stronger Bears roster, weaker Bears roster? Where are the holes? Do you like the guys that have been brought in? Who stands out to you? Let me know in the comments down below. Right, let's move it along. Look, left tackle. I've got to say, and you know my feelings on Tommy the Trash Truck. Yes, Braxton Jones. I just do not rate Braxton Jones in the slightest. Even when the guy was healthy, he ended up getting benched. Penalties, shopping cart, traffic cone, puts up more resistance than Braxton Jones. Do not like this re-sign at all. Do not like Braxton Jones in the slightest. Just the guy is just genuinely trash. I know it obviously will help having Joe Tooney outside him, as it always would, but this guy is just not the answer at left tackle. He really isn't. The left tackle battle in camp will be fascinating. Obviously, Kieran Amagaji, Theo Benedette, Braxton Jones, and now a new addition to this list. That is former first-round pick Jedrick Wills. Now, Jedrick Wills is a bit of a gamble. Is Wills. This is a guy who missed most of last year injured. Well, sat out, actually, no, missed out. Sorry, I'll recorrect that. Sat out all of last year trying to get fit. Missed a couple of seasons with injury. Never really kind of lived up to the promise of being the 10th overall pick in the first round out of Bama. He has the potential to be an outstanding left tackle. a really, really good left tackle. We look a little bit about old Jedrick Wills. He is from Lexington, Kentucky. He's 6'4", 307 pounds, so a little bit undersized on the left tackle side of thing. He went to Lafayette. He went to Alabama. I was part of the Crimson Tide between 2017 and 2019. He was then a first-round pick in 2020 with the 10th overall pick by the Cleveland Browns. So this is a guy that the Browns obviously rated very, very highly when they brought him to Cleveland. You know, if you're picking a left tackle at 10th overall, it's a guy you clearly rate. It's a guy you clearly think can be a big part of your franchise, you know, a big part of your future plans. You know, obviously it hasn't worked out for him. It really genuinely hasn't. And look, it's a shame for the guy. You know, it's a real shame for Jedrick that it has not worked out for him, that he hasn't obviously been able to progress and show what he's capable of. Now, he was a right tackle in college. However, he was converted to a left tackle by the Browns, and all of his games have been at left tackle for the Browns. He's played 58 games for the Cleveland Browns, starting 57 of them. You know, like I said, he was a player who there was a big hope for, that this guy would be a real star talent for him, a real star talent for the Bears. He suffered an MCL. He's had MCL injuries, which obviously put him on injured reserve in 2023, and he sat and obviously missed the most of 2023, missed most of 2024, and sat out the whole of 2025. This is a guy who is signed pretty much on a vet minimum deal, I think, on a 1-year deal, a cheap deal. There's kind of no risk here. You know, if he comes in and he works out, great. We've got a great left tackle, a guy who was a first-round pick. If he doesn't work out, you cut him. You don't bring him through the 53-man roster, because realistically, you're not going to have 4 left tackles on your roster with Braxton Jones, Theo Benedette, Kieran Amagaji, and Jedrick Wills. Ozzie Trapillo likely to start the season on IR. So, you know, it is a situation where Jedrick Wills comes in with kind of nothing to lose and everything to gain. You know, if he comes in, works with Dan Rauschar can turn this guy into the talent that Cleveland clearly thought he was going to be coming out of college, then the Bears have got themselves a bargain. This is, like I said, a first-round guy, a 10th pick. He's no mug. You know, he has the talent, he has the raw skills, the power to be a great tackle in the NFL, but just has not got there for whatever reason. One, obviously, been injury, and the second been, well, he's been in Cleveland. I mean, let's face it, Cleveland is not a great place to go and play football, is it? Cleveland really is a graveyard for talent. It has been for a long time. You know, if you want to basically kill your career off, go play in Cleveland. But Jedrick Wills is a very interesting one, and I think there's big hopes, I think, that he can come in and be that left tackle. I certainly hope that he comes into camp, you know, goes through obviously mini camp and everything, OTAs, and then obviously training camp, and really shows himself to be the talent that he obviously had coming out of college. I like this guy. I really hope that he is going to go really kick on and become a top tackle for the Bears. Look, nothing to risk on this one, but certainly a very interesting move nonetheless from the Chicago Bears. And, you know, with the situation where Ozzie's probably not going to be back until week 15, week 16 next year, if at all, next season, we've got to find someone who can come in and really protect Caleb's blind side, be the guy. And look, we can't constantly lean on poor Joe Tooney. He cannot do 2 jobs, as good as he is, and he is exceptionally great. You know, and I think obviously Jedrick Wills, that's another thing that may help Wills as well in rebuilding his confidence and rebuilding him as a tackle. They're working alongside someone like a Joe Tooney, who is, you know, one of the best offensive linemen in football. But look, I'm excited for this one. I hope it comes off. I hope it works out for the Bears. Guys, let me know your thoughts on Jedrick Wills. Could he be someone that comes in and proves himself to be a left tackle that we were looking for all along? Thanks for watching the Bears Huddle podcast, guys. I'll catch you real soon. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bear down.